He lived and worked in Rochester in a menial job, probably had a relationship with a woman. We told the police we felt that he was almost transparent, that everybody was looking right through this guy. He just appeared so normal and so unexceptional that nobody was paying any attention to him at all.
When a prostitute named June Cicero disappeared, the case became even tougher.
The low point for me personally was when one particular prostitute, a woman named June Cicero, had been missing for 2 weeks, and she was an older woman, very experienced, very streetwise. What concerned me is if this killer could get June, then he could get anyone.
Soon there was a new twist to the case. Police found the body of a woman who had been mutilated a significant time after her death.
You try to figure out what he's going to be doing next, or what patterns of behavior are there, or can we lay traps of behavior for him. He was telling us by his behavior that he was returning and interested in becoming involved in post-mortem activity with these bodies. So we felt if we could find a body and set up on it, that we might catch him coming back.
Police took the profiler's advice. They mounted an aerial search of the gorge and area waterways. They happened upon a body under a bridge. It wasn't all they discovered. There was a man on the bridge looking down. When he saw the helicopter, he drove away. The police followed and stopped him. His name was Arthur Shawcross. Prostitutes identified him as the customer they knew as Mitch.
Now, who could have predicted that? No one. That was luck. But it's luck that they made by being aggressive with their investigation, not just laying back waiting for someone else to find another body and then going to the scene, but actually getting out there and looking for bodies, and that's really what broke the case.
Shawcross fit McCrary's profile in almost every detail.
He was on parole for a double homicide, sexual homicide that involved children. He worked in a menial job. He worked at a G&G food processing plant. He had a consensual relationship. Matter of fact, he was married and had a girlfriend as well. He was also a hunter and outdoorsman. He fished in the Genesee River Gorge. Where we were errant, I'll take the responsibility for being wrong, is with the age. I thought he was probably 30-ish. He turned out to be 45 years old, which is a miss. He went into prison at about age 30 and did 15 years for this sexual homicide. Then was released, and in my opinion, he picked up just where he left off 15 years before.
Shawcross was tried and sentenced to life behind bars for the murders of 11 women.
There's no cure for these people. You put them on ice, is all you're doing when they're in jail. You put them on ice, they're in a holding pattern. When they get out of jail, they'll go right back to it.
It's knowing they're protecting the public from killers like this that is the FBI profiler's true reward. But it's also the thrill of the chase, and they were soon to confront an especially cagey killer who had eluded police all over the world. Services are in demand by law enforcement agencies from around the globe, a tribute to how sophisticated their art has become.
Started out as profiling too, just providing a profile service, but then it really began to expand to incorporate, other techniques that we could offer to law enforcement.
Had they deposited the body even 20 yards further into the wilderness area, I don't think we ever would have found him. It's just because this was...
In 1992, the FBI profilers used some of those techniques to link one serial killer to his crimes not only in America, but all over the world. He flew into Los Angeles, but he wasn't your usual tourist. His sights were set on the underside of the city. He took in the high life and partied in Malibu, but he resided in a transient hotel in the city's lower depths. He was a man with two faces, the one he showed to the world, and the one he showed only to those who could never bear witness against him. He was a predator who preyed on prostitutes. In Los Angeles, he struck 3 times.
He has taken and somehow separated part of the bra and wrapped it around her neck.
It didn't take homicide detectives long to conclude they were looking for a serial killer. The murder victims had all been strangled with their own bras, and the killer had tied the same unique type of knot around each victim's throat. The murders were only 10 days apart. Then, as suddenly as they began, the killings stopped.
We knew we had one guy. Why is he going to stop? He's killed 3. There's no reason to stop.
It was as if the killer had disappeared into thin air. It turned out he had. What the LAPD didn't know was that their strangler had left their jurisdiction. He was not a local serial killer. He was an international one.
The majority of sophisticated or organized serial killers are highly transient, not just going from one neighboring jurisdiction to another, but from state to state and occasionally from country to country.
The man the LA police were hunting had also left a trail of bodies in Europe. Women had been turning up dead outside various cities from Austria to Czechoslovakia. Most were known prostitutes,